In the spring, the mountain always tells you the secrets the winter kept. When the snow pulls back and the ice cracks with the sound of thunder, you find things. Deer bones, broken arrowheads, and sometimes you find one of them, the lost ones. I've found one 3 thaws ago. He was near the tree line, where the creek makes a hard bend. By the bright color of his coat, I thought he was a piece of modern trash the wind had carried. But it was a man, or what was left of him. He was laying on his back, eyes open to the gray sky, like he was surprised, frozen in place. The saddest thing, he had one of those little fire gadgets in his hand, the kind that makes a spark with a thumb. Useless. His fingers were white and hard as candle wax. He had the best gear money could buy, shiny plastic taped seams, boots that looked like they'd walked out of a store yesterday. His gear was waterproof, windproof, everything proof, except for foolishness. He didn't die from the cold, not directly. He died because he forgot something. Something his great-grandfather probably knew in his bones, but that he, with all his maps and his technology, had lost. He died of ignorance, and the cold just made that ignorance permanent. Seeing a man like that does something to you. Makes you think about the thin layer of stuff people put between themselves and the truth. They come up here thinking they're in a picture. They don't realize they're in a church, and the rules here are ancient. People ask me how I stand it. They see the scars on my hands, the way my face is leathered by the wind, and they think I'm made of something different. Iron, maybe, or stone. That's nonsense. I feel the cold. My blood ain't thicker than anyone else's. The difference is I respect it. I've paid the price to learn the rules, and the price is high. It costs you fingers. It costs you friends. It costs you the heat of your youth, which you trade for a cold, hard wisdom. We live in an age of easy warmth. In your cities, heat is just a switch on a wall. You got warm boxes on wheels to take you from one warm box to another. You've forgotten what it means to make heat, what it means to keep it. You've forgotten the physics of survival. What we forgot, it ain't some mystic secret. It's simple. So simple it sounds stupid to say it out loud. But it's the deadliest thing there is. We forgot that the enemy ain't out there. The enemy isn't the howling wind or the deep snow. The enemy is water, and it's the water you make yourself. The cold is not a monster. It's not a creature with teeth that hunts you. The cold is an absence. It's a void, a hungry vacuum that only wants one thing: the fire burning in your chest, your heat. The cold is a thief. It has many ways to rob you. It robs you with the wind, which tears the warmth from your exposed skin. That's what they call convection. It's a fast robbery, a slap in the face. It robs you through the air. You breathe in the ice-sharp air that burns your lungs, and you breathe out a cloud of your precious core heat. That's radiation. But the worst thief, the sneakiest, the fastest, is conduction. It's the touch. It's when you sit on a cold rock or kneel in the deep snow. That rock, that snow, it ain't giving you cold. It's sucking your heat with a speed that would stop your heart. It's a thief that grabs you and don't let go. And who opens the door for this thief? Who invites him in, gives him a chair, and serves him your warmth on a silver plate? It's moisture. It's sweat. The traitor that lives inside your own clothes. A man can survive 40 below zero for days if he's dry. But put that same man at 32 degrees, just freezing, and get him wet, and he can die in an hour. Cotton. Cotton is the coffin cloth. It holds water against your skin like a sponge. Modern folk love it. I call it a winding sheet. We forgot that staying dry ain't about comfort. It's about life and death. I've seen it happen. I've watched a man get killed by his own sweat. His name was Silas, a young fella from somewhere back east, full of brag and gym muscle. He came up here to trap fur, thinking his strength and his new gear would make him a king. He had a bright red coat, sealed with some new gum, and boots with thick rubber soles. He looked at my buckskins and my wolf fur parka, and he laughed. "You look like a caveman, old man," he said. "Maybe," I answered, "but I'm warm." We were a day's travel from my shelter, checking a trap line. The day was bright and still. The kind of cold that feels like glass, 20 below, maybe more. The sun was just a pale smear in the sky, holding no heat. Silas moved fast, too fast. He was powering through the drifts like he was at war with them, chopping at branches with his shiny hatchet, huffing and blowing clouds of steam. "Slow down, boy," I told him. "Sweat is poison out here." He just stopped and turned to me, steam pouring from his collar. "It's how I stay warm, old man, making my own heat." He was making heat, and he was soaking himself. His bright red coat, the one that was waterproof, was doing exactly what it promised. It was keeping all the water in, trapping his body's steam right against his skin. We stopped to rest by a wind-swept outcrop of rock. I threw my buffalo hide on the ground, a layer of insulation, and sat on it. Silas, still panting, brushed the snow off a flat granite stone with his glove and sat right down. I almost said something, but there are lessons that words can't teach. There are truths that only pain can carve into you. He sat there for 10, maybe 15 minutes, eating his rations, smug. That granite was likely 30 degrees below zero. It was a black hole for heat, and Silas was sitting right on it, with his canvas pants and his sweat-soaked cotton base layer. The theft was instant. Conduction. The stone sucked the core heat right out of him like a siphon. When he stood up, he grinned. "All right, can't sit here all day." He took 3 steps. Then the shiver started. It wasn't a normal shiver. It was an earthquake. His whole body convulsed. His teeth clattered so hard it sounded like they'd break. His bright red coat was now dark with frozen moisture. I'm, he stuttered. The word cold wouldn't come out. His tongue was getting thick. I grabbed him. The panic was in his eyes, the animal panic you see in a deer caught in ice. He tried to reach for his lighter, but his fingers were useless pieces of wood. He couldn't make a fist any more. I had to cut his clothes off him, right there in the biting wind. His base layer was glued to him, frozen. His skin underneath was pale, almost blue. The heat was gone. I wrapped him in my buffalo hide and my own wolf parka. I built a fire, a desperate fire, using every piece of birch bark and dry tinder I could find. I had to put him so close the embers singed his hair. I had to rub his limbs till my own skin was raw, forcing the blood to move, fighting the ice that was climbing up his veins. He lived, but the price was paid. He lost all the toes on his left foot and 3 fingers on his right hand. The mountain had marked him. He left before the river. Ice broke. He learned that his shiny gear was a lie. It was a vacuum-sealed coffin, and he'd filled it with his own poison. I didn't figure this out on my own. I'd have died like Silas in my first few years, if not for the old ones. An old Cree man, Snowwalker, found me when I was young and dumb. I was half dead from cold, shivering in a bad snow shelter, wrapped in wet wool blankets. He didn't say much. He just gave me a drink of something hot and bitter from his flask and watched me with eyes that looked like they'd seen the beginning of time. Later, he showed me his clothes. They weren't sealed. They weren't waterproof. They were alive. He showed me the hair on a caribou hide. "What do you see?" he asked. "Hair," I said. He shook his head. "You see wrong. Every hair is hollow. It's a tube of air. The caribou does not fight the cold. He wears the air. The air is the warmth." He showed me his parka. It was built with the fur facing out in some places, in on others. It was loose. It had vents under the arms, tied with rawhide. "The body must breathe," he said, "like a fire. You smother a fire, it dies. You seal yourself in your clothes, you die. The sweat must get out. The cold air must come in, mix, and move out, take in the water. You do not dress to stop the cold, you dress to manage the moisture." The people who lived here for 1,000 winters knew. They knew that buckskin breathes. They knew that a wolf fur ruff around your hood catches the ice from your breath before it freezes your face. They knew you don't sit on the rock, you sit on the sheepskin. They didn't have plastic, they had wisdom. They understood the rules. We've forgotten this, we in the modern world. We forgot because we got scared of feeling. We traded resilience for comfort. We traded knowledge for convenience. Your modern gear is a marvel. It keeps you dry from the rain that falls from above, but it kills you with the rain that comes from within. It's armor, and like all armor, it's heavy, and it suffocates the man inside. You've lost the connection. You no longer feel the bite of the wind and think, "I must slow down, I'm sweating." You just zip up tighter. You don't feel the cold stone sucking the life from you and think, "Conduction." You just trust that your expensive nylon pants will hold. You can't stand to be uncomfortable, not for a minute. And that fear of discomfort is what makes you fragile. The man I found in the creek, he died of comfort. He died because he trusted a piece of plastic more than he trusted the common sense that every animal in this forest is born with. He forgot that the human body is a furnace, and moisture is the ash that can choke it. In the end, the mountain doesn't care about your brand name. The ice doesn't care how much you paid for your gear. The storm doesn't care about your plans. Nature is a brutally honest teacher. It gives you a test, and if you fail, you die. What we forgot is that warmth isn't something you have. It's something you earn every second with every choice. They put their faith in things, in zippers and tags and promises made in a factory. I put my faith in the caribou, in the wolf, and in the sweat I know not to spill. The cold doesn't want to kill you. It's just hungry. What we forgot is how not to feed it.